Okay, so today we'll be going over some algebra. So we'll talk about negative numbers, factoring, and then areas and volumes of different shapes. So do you guys want to just tell me in the chat a little bit what you know about negative numbers? And then we'll start talking about them. Are you guys familiar with negative numbers? Yes, no. Okay. I'm gonna take that as no, so we'll just continue, I guess. Okay. So negative numbers are numbers that lie on the left side of zero on a number line. They're represented with a minus sign in front. So like the number on over here is considered as like negative 45. For negative numbers, they have like an opposite number which is positive. So like the opposite of negative 15 is 15, and the opposite of 15 is negative 15. You can represent a positive number with like a plus sign, but it's not that necessary. But when you write negative numbers, you must put the minus sign in front of it. And negative numbers can be added, subtracted, multiplied, or divided, or like basically anything a positive number can be done. So we're just gonna practice reading expressions. So you would read this expression on the left as negative 5 minus negative 6. And then 6 minus 7 is read as 6 minus 7. And so on. So why are there parentheses? Parentheses are basically just a divider, so the problem isn't that confusing. So for example, in the problem like minus 5 plus minus 3, there are parentheses because without parentheses it might look like minus 5 and then like plus minus 3, where the signs might just get a little confusing. So we're going to go over how to add and subtract on a number line. This is, let me see. Okay, is that better? For like those who said they couldn't hear me. Okay. So sorry, there was an echo. Okay. So to do like add and subtracting with negative numbers, one way you can do it is through a number line. So you can add and subtract on a number line to practice, but it's recommended you start learning without one, so you can do these calculations relatively quickly. So you're going to take your problem and separate it into two segments. So negative 3 minus 2, like here, would become negative 3 and negative 2 as your two parts. So you take the first segment of your problem and plot that point on the number line. So our first segment would be negative 3. So we're going to take negative 3 and we're going to plot it on the number line like here. Then you take your second segment, depending on the sign in front of it, you move it that place that many places to the left or the right. So if there's a minus sign in front of the 2, that tells you to move it to the left. But if there's a plus sign, that means right. So because ours has a minus sign in front of it, we're going to move 2 down to -5. So then our answer would be -3 minus 2 equals -5. Like that. Does that make sense to everyone? Everyone understands? Yes, okay. Then we'll continue. So why don't you guys try this problem and then maybe someone can show us how to do it with the number line? Or like if they use the number line. So I'll give you guys a minute. You can like send your answers to me in the chat. And also like tell me how like you did it. Like did you break it into segments and then like your steps or like your thinking process? Please make sure to private message me. Okay. So for those who solved the problem, does anyone want to like show how they did it? Or like kind of step through how they did it? You can like raise your hand or something. Yeah, whoever raised their hand, do you wanna do it? We can't hear you if you're talking. Okay, does anyone else wanna do it? Oh yeah, whoever unmuted, do you want to go through? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
-4 plus -5. Since plus and negative are together, it becomes negative. So negative and positive becomes negative. So it will be -4 minus 5. That will give you -9. Is it correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Oh, oops, sorry. So you get -4 minus 5, and that should give you -9.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's the answer. If you wanted like a visual representation, you would basically break it up into 3 segments as like shown down here. So you would have your first segment as -4, then it'd be like plus a 0, because there's nothing associated with the plus, so it'd be like plus 0. And then it'd be -5. So you'd move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So your answer would be -9. Yeah. Are there any questions? No questions? Okay. Then we'll move on. Okay, here's another problem. Um, I'll like give you guys a couple of minutes to solve it. And then make sure you like private message me instead of sending it out to everyone. Okay, so we'll go over the solution. So I asked the student to explain. Do you want to explain? Like start explaining right now? Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Um, your voice is kind of soft. Could you like move closer to the mic so we can hear you better?
Then 3 -3 -3 give me +6.
Okay, I could like barely hear you. Do you want to say it one more time a little louder?
Means if two negative signs give you a positive sign, then 3 plus 3 equals 6. That's how I got my answer.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you. Okay. So if you have the answer as 6, that is the correct answer. I'm sorry if I didn't respond to everyone with feedback. But yeah. Okay. So if you want like a visual representation, because I know some. Okay, so I know that helps sometimes, like visual representation. So we're gonna split this up into. Well, one important thing is to note that two minus signs make a plus sign. So our problem changes from this to this. Oops. Our problem changes from this to this. So in order to solve our new problem, let's break up our thing. So we have part 1, which is 3, positive 3, and part 2, which is also positive 3. So let's take part 1 and graph it on the number line. So 3 will go right here. And then we take our second part. So our second part is positive. So if it's positive, you move to the right. And if it's negative, you move to the left. So since our number is positive, we're going to move that many steps right. So it's at 3 right now, and we have positive 3. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3 steps right to get 6. Does that make sense for everyone? So you could either like just sum this up like 3 plus 3, or you can use like the number line. You need some visual help. Everyone understands? Okay, I'm gonna take that as no questions. So we're gonna move on. So the answer is 6. Okay. You guys can try this one as well. So minus 4 plus 3. And then please put the meaning message. Oops. So, Please private message me your answer. Please don't send it to everyone. Oops. Sorry. Okay, I'll give you guys like another minute or so for those that weren't able to send their answers in yet, to attempt the problem before we go over the solution together. Okay, please private message me your answers. Okay, I have asked the student to go over the answer. Do you want to start sharing how you did it?
Okay, let me explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
The point is gonna be on the point is going to be on -4, and you are going to move to the right hand side 3 times.
Yeah, that's correct. Good job.
The answer is gonna be -1.
Yeah. So basically, again, we're going to just split our equation or our expression into parts. So we have our first part as -4 and our second part as 3. And then, as Cynthia said, our first part, we're going to plot it at -4, and then we're going to move +3 to the right because our number is positive. So we move to the right if it's positive, and to the left if it's negative. Did anyone have questions or anything? Oh, you can't hear me? Wait, can everyone else?
No.
Oh, yeah? Can you all hear me or?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, so the answer is -1.
I said
We'll move on to the next thing. So do you guys want to try this one? Remember the little thing with two minus signs, what happens to this line?
It's two.
So, please private message me your answer. And
Yay. Six. It's plus. The other way around.
yeah, I'll give you more questions. I'm just waiting for others to send their answers in, and we'll start the solution soon. Okay, whoever I asked to explain, do you want to start explaining now? We'll go over the solution.
Okay. 2 minus negative 4. Since two negatives are together, it becomes, so it's negative 2 plus 4. So you put your dots at negative, then you move to the right 4 times since it's plus. So it will be negative 2 plus 4 will give you 2.
Yeah. So that's right. So we'll break this up into, or we'll first simplify our expression. So we're going to get rid of the two minus signs. Oops. So we're going to get rid of the two minus signs. So our first part, or like our new expression, will be minus 2 plus 4, which then what we're going to do is we're going to break it up into parts. So our first part is going to be minus 2, and our second part is going to be plus 4. So we're going to put our first dot on 2, and then because our second part is positive, we're going to move right. And so we end up at 2 as our answer. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so this one try to do without a number line. So let's see if you guys can do that. I think you guys have got a pretty good hang of it. So after this problem, we'll probably move on to doing some other operations with negative and positive numbers. Yeah. Okay, I'll give everyone a couple minutes. I think this problem's a little harder than the other ones, so If anyone is confused, please also let me know any questions you have. That way I can like clarify anything. Okay. Whoever I said can explain can start explaining. So I think that's Alexis.
Only someone 8 cities, but you go and pay 3 out of the 8. The answer will be -5.
Yeah. So I think someone was also drawing the number line. Sorry, I was just like a little confused what was going on. But yeah, so we can take a look at the number line. So let's see. So we'll put 0 in the middle and we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, right? So our first part is -8, so let's put it on -8. And our second part is +3. So because it's positive, we're gonna move to the right. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. So we should end up at -5. Did anyone do it a way that does not require a number line?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Does one
Yes.
want to explain? I'm not completely sure who all said yes. So, Roger, do you want to explain? Because I think you also said yes. If you want to explain, could you just like, I guess maybe let me know in the chat, and then I can let you know, if you can explain or not. Oh yeah, Cynthia, you want to do it?
Me.
Wait, who did not use a number line? If you didn't use a number line, raise your hand. Okay. Uh, Linda, do you want to explain?
Please.
Yeah, you want to explain how you did it without the number line?
No.
Okay.
I can explain.
Hello, Linda? Okay, iPhone, do you want to explain?
So if someone is owing you 8 CD, and the person pays you 3 CD, it will be left with 5 CD, which the person is supposed to pay you.
Okay, so that's one way to think about it. So I think you thought of this in like number of items, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, let's say we have, so you can rewrite this as like 3 minus 8. So let's say you have 3 items, 1, 2, 3. Well, now you have to get rid of 8 of them. So you get rid of 1, 2, 3. But there are still 5 that you need to get rid of, right?
Yes.
But you should just stick on the minus sign because it's like you have to still get rid of it. So it's negative. I'm not sure if that explanation makes sense. But is that kind of the way you thought about it?
Yes.
Okay, did anyone else have another approach to how they did it?
If you have
Me.
Well, you just explained.
Me.
Wait, who's saying me?
Well,
Wait, Linda, are you explaining? Because I can't hear you.
please, your friend wants 8 things and then you have only 3. And you give the 3 to the person, it will be left with 5 more to give to the friend.
Yeah, so I think everyone thought about it in terms of like items. I think one thing with that though is you have to be very careful of the sign when you're doing something like that. So, the way I think about it is like I'll set it up instead of having negative 8 plus 3, I'll think of it as like 3 minus 8. So, if I add 3 to minus 8 on the number line, it will bring me to minus 5. So I just like kind of imagine the number line in my head, but I think working with items works too. Um, does anyone have like a different solution that doesn't use the number line or items? That uses like something completely different? Okay, I'm gonna take that as no. Um, yeah. So, okay, we will move on to the next question, I guess. So feel free to use whatever method you want to use. But when using the number line method, try to like envision the number line in your head instead of like drawing it out and seeing if you can do it like that, because that will make these problems a lot more quicker and a lot faster. So, okay. How about you guys try this one? I'm gonna give you like less time, and I want to see how many of you can get a response in by like the next like 1 minute. I will give you 1 minute to do this. So let me put on a 1 minute timer. Okay, your time starts now. Oh, the problem was -6 minus -7.
Yeah.
I believe that was the question. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't think I'll be able to respond to everyone in like the next 10 seconds. Be sure to like private message me your answers instead of like putting it out loud. Okay, time's up. So whoever was able to answer, I'm gonna ask one of you to like kind of explain how you did it so fast. So, who we haven't heard from? Oh yeah, please private chat to me. Wait, whoever wants to explain, can you raise your hand? Okay, wait, let me show you the correct answer. So the correct answer is 1. So if you got 1 and you want to explain how you did it, please raise your hand.
It's 1.
Okay, Linda, do you want to explain?
Yes.
Okay. Please make sure you all private message me so like other people don't get confused or anything or try to copy you. So please private message me when you do this. So go ahead, Linda. Sorry. Please don't, sorry,
17.
sorry, one more thing. Please don't draw on the screen unless you're explaining. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Linda.
Please, I was having 7 oranges,
Okay.
and my friend said she wanted 6. So I gave her 6, and it was left with 1 for me.
Okay, so you gave your friend 6 oranges and you had 1 left. Yeah, that works. Did anyone else use a different method to do it?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Whoever's iPhone, I believe.
Me.
Who said me? Adam? Please raise your hand if you want to go over the answer. And I will ask to unmute you. Oh, -1, or 1 is the correct answer. Okay. Cynthia, do you want to explain?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. How did you do it?
Okay, so it's -6 minus -7. So negative plus negative, it's positive. So it's times negative is positive. So it's gonna be -6 plus 7. And so you can change it as 7 minus 6, which is 1.
Yeah. So I think you kind of use like the number line method. I guess that's what it would fall into. Um, yeah. So if you're looking at a number line, let me just like draw the number line. When you guys solve this problem, you should draw the number line, but like just for visual representation. Let's draw the number line. So let's say here is -6, and then here is like 1. So if I have like 7 things to add, I'd add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which would give me 1. I didn't draw the whole number line because that's a lot of numbers. Does anyone have any questions? For those of you who answered -13, because I thought I saw a lot of like -13, please be aware that when you have 2 negatives, they make a positive. So let me just like go over that really fast. So negative of negative like x will give you x. Negative of x will give you negative x. And positive of negative x will give you negative x. So just be careful of these like 3 things. Make sure you like note those down. Okay. So I'm going to clear the board. Does anyone have anything or still need time to like note stuff down? Okay, I'm going to clear. Oh. Oh no, okay. I will leave it up for like another minute. So I think we're gonna move on from like adding and subtracting negative numbers, and we're gonna watch a video on how to multiply and divide negative numbers. So that will kind of explain how to do that process, and then we'll do some practice problems with that. Okay, how about now? Can I clear the screen now? If you weren't able to note down everything, we always post
I can't hear you.
Huh? Oh. Oh, is this better? Can you hear me better?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, if you aren't able to note down everything or like not get all the notes, we always share a YouTube video recording of the lecture like a day or two later. So if you need a refresher or something, you can definitely go back and like, look at that video. Okay. So now we're gonna move on to a video that explains negative multiplying and dividing. So I'm going to clear the board. Oops. Okay. Let me know if you guys are able to like hear it.
It's about multiplying and dividing negative numbers.
Can you guys hear it?
Yes, please, you can hear.
You can hear the video?
Yes,
So
please.
this is actually this can be pretty confusing if you don't understand the rules, but once you do, it's very straightforward. So I'm just going to start by throwing out a bunch of examples here, and then I'm going to explain the theory. So watch this. If I have a negative 5 times a negative 5, that gives me positive 25. If I have negative 6 times positive 4, that gives me negative 24. If I have a positive 6 times a positive 3, that gives me, surprise there, positive 18. If I have a positive 7 times a negative 3, that's going to give me a negative 21. Okay, so if you followed along there, you might have noticed something. A negative times a negative equals positive. Negative times a positive equals negative. Positive times a positive equals positive, and positive times a negative equals a negative. So this happens always. These are just numbers. These are just random examples I just made up. Okay, but the point is, you can codify these rules into a nice little set of rules. Okay, this is one of those things you just have to memorize. All right, if I take a negative times a negative, it equals positive. If I take positive times positive, it's negative. Excuse me, it's positive. It's also positive, I'm sorry. If it's a negative times a positive, or positive times a negative, it is simply negative. So look at here. Look at this. Look at this this set of rules for a second. Notice something. If the two things are the same, meaning that they're both negative or both positive, the result is always positive. If the two things are different, meaning it's a negative and positive or positive and negative, meaning one's one and the other is the other, the answer is always negative. So however you want to think of it, whether you just want to memorize it straight up, or you want to think of it as same sign being positive and different sign being negative, whatever works for you, it's the same. Okay, now the final point I want to make on this video is that this works the same regardless of whether you're doing multiplication or division. So everything I did up here would apply to division as well. So I'll just throw out a few more examples so you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right. If I took positive 10 divided by negative 5, that's going to be what? Negative 2. How about a positive 5 divided by negative 5? Well, isn't it the same exact situation, except now it's negative 1, right? Because anything over itself is 1, and the negative and the positive make this a negative. Does that make sense? Okay, how about this? What if I had a negative 6 over negative 2? What is this? Look at this. Negative and negative make positive. So this is 3. Okay, and you can play around all day. It doesn't matter whether I go negative 5 over 1, because that's the same exact thing as 1, as 5 over negative 1. See how it doesn't matter whether the negatives on the top or the bottom? That's because negative and positive is the same as positive and negative. It doesn't matter the order. It's just whether it's different or whether it's the same. So, yeah, I hope that that was kind of just a really rough, just really quick introduction. But it's really all there is to it. So I would...
Okay. So let me just recap what the video was basically saying. So some just like key things to note down is that when you have a negative number times a negative number, oops. I don't know why. Okay. A negative number times a negative number, oh my god. You get a positive number. Okay? When you have a positive number times a positive number, you get a positive number. And when you have a negative number times a positive number, or a positive number times a negative number, they both give you negative numbers. And the same thing works with dividing. If you have a negative number, divide by a negative number, you get a positive number. If you have a positive number, divide by a positive number, you get a positive number. If you have a negative number, divide by a positive number, or a positive number, divide by a negative number, they both give you negative numbers. Okay? So these are the rules for multiplying. And these ones are division rules. Okay? So just make sure you have these like copied down and like memorized because they're very important. So I'll give you guys like a minute to copy this down, and then we'll do some practice problems, and then we'll talk about some areas and volumes of shapes. Does anyone have any questions on like any of these? Okay, so I'll just wait for you guys to copy it down. If any questions comes up, please feel free to ask. Yeah, if you have a question on what is shown, feel free to ask.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is it that the negative of a negative equals the positive?
Okay, so let's look at an example for that one. This one. So let's say we have the number -5 divide by -7 or something like that, right? So if we think about this, we can write this as -1 divided by -1 times 5 divided by 7, or like this. -1 times 5 and -1 times 7. So when doing something like this, you can actually like cross out similar terms on the top and bottom. So we can cross out -1 and -1. So that leaves us with 5/7, which is positive.
Let's try searching for. I wish she searched for it. Okay. She went to YouTube and searched.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. Could you say that again?
Just continue.
Okay, you got it? Okay. Does everyone have this copied down so then we can move on to like some problems?
No. Yes.
Okay, so I'll give you guys like 2 more minutes to copy it down and then we'll go over some problems that use these rules. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to kill you.
Okay, how about now? Is everyone done copying it down? Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna erase. Okay. And then we'll go over some practice problems. Okay. Oh, we just went over that. Okay, do you guys want to try this one? It should be like really fast. I'll give you like 1 minute to compute it.
Okay.
So the question is -6 times -7. Yeah, I'm gonna make it. -6 times -7.
There are full time on you are sitting down watching. Keep quiet.
Okay, just private message me your answer.
Okay. Where's the chat?
Can you guys do it?
Daddy, where's the chat? Daddy, I don't know how you.
Next time I'll do a competition and see who can answer the fastest. Please private message me. Oh, okay. Time's up. You guys can still put in some answers.
Divided it.
Okay.
How do I private miss?
Okay, I'm going to go over the solution. So if you have any questions, you can let me know.
What will be the answer?
Oh, so the answer is plus 42. I think what some of you did was that you thought this was like addition. So you were answering -1, but be careful. And then some of you are also answering -42, which you should also be careful. So let's just like go over the solution really fast. Sorry if I did not respond to you. The answer is 42, so just cross compare your answers, I guess. So first of all, let's note down the rule we'd use here. So the rule we'd use here is negative times negative equals positive. So we know our answer has to be positive. So now all that's left to do is compute what 7 times 6 is. Well, 7 times 6 is 42, right? Because it would be written as 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. I'm not going to compute the whole thing, but this should give you 42. So that is why, yeah, the answer is 42. Does anyone have any questions?
I wrote for
You got it? No questions, right? I just want to make sure this is as clear as possible. Okay.
I wrote 42.
Yeah, good job to everyone who wrote 42. Okay, next problem. Let me go to the next problem. Okay, -16 divided by 4. You can write this as like -16 divided by 4 if that helps you. These two are equivalent. I am going to give you 1 minute again. Let's see who can answer the fastest. Oh, we already have an answer. Wow. Okay. That was fast. Please private message me though. Wow, you guys are fast. Okay. 23, 22 seconds for everyone else to answer. Oh my god, you guys are sending in answers faster than I can respond. Okay, time's up. Okay, does anyone wanna go over how they like did it, like what rule they used? Let's see the first person who answered. Okay, Alexis, you wanna go over? Oh, okay. Um,
What is the answer?
oh, the answer is -4. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so be careful whoever's drawing on the board. I'm not completely sure who that is. This is division. So division works different than multiplication, or sorry, addition and subtraction.
Okay.
So Okay, so the way that this would work is first let's define the rule we're going to use. So what is the rule we're going to use? So you guys want to put it in the chat? This one you can type to everyone. What rule we're going to use. So are we going to use that like negative divided by negative is positive? Or what rule are we going to use? Who can answer? Okay, we're going to use negative, oops. Okay, we're going to use that negative divided by positive equals negative. So we know our number is going to be negative at the end, right? So now let's do 16 divided by 4. So let's say we have 1, oh yeah, there we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just for like visual purposes, let's say we have 16 apples, right? And we want to divide them into 4 groups. Well, we'll put 4 of them in each group to get 4 groups, right? There are 4 groups, and each of them have 4 apples in them, right? So that's how we know that 16 divided by 4 gives us 4. But now we need to factor in the fact that our answer is going to have a negative sign, right? So our answer is just going to be negative 4.
28.
Number 1, negative
91.
or positive.
28,
91, that's that was.
What?
28, 9.
Not 15.
I don't know. Positive. I said, please go over the number 1, negative or positive equal negative.
Yeah, so that's the rule we're using. So first we're going to define the rule we're using. So this is the rule.
Oh, we don't want that.
So then once we define what our rule is, we know what sign our answer is going to be. So I just like basically omit the signs to make like everything a lot easier for me to do. So then we're just left with like 16 over 4, which we can easily do, which gives us 4. And then we just tag on the negative sign to get negative 4. Does everyone understand? Everyone is huh?
Yes.
Yeah? No questions?
Oh, so the negative equal 6 over 4.
16.
That's 16 divided by 4.
Yeah.
Equal to 4.
Yeah, and then you just tag on the negative sign because we know our answer has to be negative from our rule.
Maybe if you want to use close.
Okay, hold on. I'll explain it one more time. Maybe this will like help clear up some confusion. Okay, so the first step we're going to do is define the rule we're going to use, which you guys all said was negative over positive equals negative. So we know our answer will have to have a negative sign in front of it. Okay? Everyone clear on that? No confusion there? Okay.
Yes, please.
So the next thing that we have to tackle is what is actually negative 16 divided by 4? So we know our answer is going to be negative, right? So let's just get rid of all the confusing signs. So let's get rid of that negative sign because it just makes the problem a lot harder. So we have 16 divided by 4 then, if we get rid of all the signs and everything. So this gives us 4, right?
Yeah.
But that can't be our answer because we know that our answer has to be negative from the rule we have, right? So what we're going to do is that because we know 16 divided by 4 is negative, we're just going to put a negative over here. So we get negative 16 divided by 4 is going to be negative 4.
Okay.
Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one you're just repeating right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna jump
So we
ahead.
can continue with the 16 divided by 4.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna jump ahead and we're gonna talk about some shapes.
Okay. So what do you mean by shape?
So we're gonna talk about areas of shapes. So
Alright.
you know how your room is like maybe a square, or you have your like computer, which has a screen that's maybe a rectangle, something like that. Those are all shapes. So we have like squares, circles, triangles, all of those shapes. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and find how much these spaces take up. That's what area is. It's like how much space does your room take up if you were to find the area of it. So that's what we'll go over. Yeah. Just in the order. Okay, so here are some general terms basically. I'm just gonna clear everyone's drawings.
Okay.
So let's look at a square. So the square has something that's called a length, which is basically like one side of it, and a width, which is another side of it. So you know how we have something called E, which represents 2 dimensions? Well, the 2 dimensions they're talking about is length and width. So if you have a square, you'd have length and width. If you have a rectangle, you have length and width, and everything like that. Ignore height and base. We'll go over that next class. Oops.
Why am I doing this?
Ignore this. Okay. Everyone get what like length and width are? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing. We're gonna skip over this because I think you guys get the concept of area. So we're gonna skip over. Okay. Here are the important parts that you need to know. So if you are given a square or a rectangle, if the problem says there is square A, B, C, D,
Yeah, let's go to bed.
then that means in order to find the area, you use the formula length times width, where this is the length and this is the width. Okay? Make sure you guys have this written down.
Yeah.
Have you guys learned about like areas of shapes before? No? Oh yeah, okay, so some of you have and some of you haven't. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, does everyone have this formula copied down for squares and rectangles?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, this one's important, so make sure you have it. Okay. So now we're going to move on to a triangle. A triangle is where it gets a little confusing because there are like 3 types of triangles. So, one type of triangle is called an equilateral triangle. Okay, so the first type is called an equilateral triangle. So what that means is that like all sides are equal. So if this is side S, then this will also be side S and this will also be side S. And the angles that make up the triangle are going to be 60 degrees each. I know this is like a lot of information to take in, so we'll probably stop after triangle. So, yeah. Okay, the next type of triangle is called a right triangle. So that basically means it has a right angle. So a right angle is 90 degrees. It is guaranteed that whenever there is a problem that says you have a right triangle, it will always have a 90-degree angle. And then these two can be like x and then like 90 minus x. So the sum of angles within a triangle is always 180 degrees. So if you look at an equilateral triangle, 60 plus 60 plus 60 is 180. And then when you look at a right triangle, 90 plus x plus 90 minus x will give you 180. Okay, and then the last one is called an isosceles triangle, where basically like
Where am I linked here?
this, I don't think you can see. Okay, this angle will be like A, and this angle will also be A. And both these sides will be equal. But this angle will be 180 minus 2A. And this will be like x. Like that one will be like a different side length. Okay, I went through that like relatively quickly. Did everyone understand in some aspect?
Right, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah? Okay, it's okay if you didn't understand, because I will go over this again next class. I just want to introduce you
Please
to
accept my call.
Yeah. It's okay if you didn't understand. Don't worry about it. I just want to like briefly introduce this so that next class we already like come in with an idea of how this kind of works. So we can do a lot more problems and stuff, because this type of math with like shapes and everything, it gets a little confusing. So yeah. And then just the formula for triangles are length times width. So when you're looking at a right angled triangle, this would be the length and this would be the width. But when you're looking at an isosceles or equilateral triangle, you will have to calculate one of the angles or like one of the dimensions.
I don't understand.
That is completely okay. Don't worry about it. This will not show up on your homework. I will make sure this does not show up on your homework. I just wanted to give you like a brief introduction into this, because we will be doing a lot of this next class. So I just want to make sure you like know what we're going to talk about next class, so that way like next class is not just like all completely new information. So, and then for the other two types of triangles, we will have to solve for one of the dimensions, which we will go over next class. Okay, I know that was a lot. So I just wanted to give you an introduction. So basically next class, we are going to learn about squares and triangles. And there are 3 different types of triangles. Well, let me just write this down over here. Okay, this is for next class. We will be going over squares / rectangles and triangles. There are 3 types of triangles. One is where all angles are equal. All angles and sides are equal. The second one is with a 90-degree angle. And the third one is 2 sides plus angles are equal. Okay? So that's basically like what's gonna happen next class. And we're just gonna find, like, if we're looking at a square, this is kind of like the idea of what we're gonna do. So if we have this square, we're gonna see how many of these small little squares can fit in this big square. That's basically what we're gonna do next class. So this is called area. So that's what we're gonna do next class. Is that making like sense with everyone? Like what we're gonna do next class?
Yes, please.
Yeah, kind of. Basically, we're gonna be dealing with like squares and rectangles the whole class. So. Okay, I just wanted to give you that brief introduction into what we're going to be doing. It is completely okay if you do not understand. I will go over all of this again next class, and I will make sure to take it a lot slower. It's just we're running out of time, and I just wanted to make sure like all the information you're getting next class is not new information, and like you're slightly familiar with it. Okay, so with that, let's go back to practicing some problems with multiplication and division of negative and positive numbers. Yeah, Linda, do you have a question? Go ahead. I can't hear you.
Please, can you give us homework on the number line?
Yeah, I can actually show you what your homework will look like. Let's see. Oh, let me clear the screen. Okay, so this is kind of what your homework will look like. Please do not use a calculator. Please do not use a calculator.
What?
So this is what your homework will kind of look like. So this is what you'll have for homework. So you will be given a problem, and there will be a number line given. So you could choose whether you want to use the number line or not. And then for some of the problems, there will not be a number line. So try to do those without using a number line. But if you really need one, feel free to like use the one above or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
You guys will only have. Oh, and then there'll be like a bit of review at the end, like orders of operation, and then LCM DCF.
Isn't this the one you gave me like the following last week for the Saturday?
Yeah, this is what we did like last class. Just to like make sure you guys are like keeping up with this stuff. So yeah. So you'll have like around like 30 problems for homework. Yeah, Linda?
So, how many numbers? How many questions?
Like around 30. There's like 26 problems.
Please, what's the deadline for the homework?
The deadline for homework is like next class. Yeah, like ideally next class, but
Please, where do we do the homework?
huh? Where do you do the homework?
Right to your thoughts.
Okay, wait, I can show you that right now actually. Let me pull it up real quick. So, okay, so we have this thing called a Google Classroom. I believe like most of you are in it, like 30 of you are in it. If you are not part of it, like let me know. But yeah, so there's like 30 of you that are in it. And this is where I will like post the homework. So if you can see here, I have posted like the sequence and series worksheet, which was like the first lesson we did. And then I have like the PEMDAS and BORDMAS worksheet, which is what we did last class.
Right.
And I see like 4 of you guys turned it in. And then I also post like the class recordings as well as like the presentations I go over. So if you ever need to look back on anything, it's always there. Does that answer your question on like where to find it?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay,
Please, how many questions?
there are 30 questions, like around 30, like 20
So, how many should we do a day?
every day.
Are you listening attentively?
How many should we do a day?
You
Network
should
is
do like
slow.
around like 4 problems per day. Okay. Is that it? Like questions about homework or anything? Everyone's good with that? Okay, let me go back to the slide deck.
Yes.
And we can do a couple more practice problems before we end today's class.
Explanation.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So let's try this problem. I think someone's already answered it. Yeah. So try this problem and then just let me know in the chat what you get.
Negative 4 times 6. 4, 6. 24.
Oh, and when you tell me your answer, tell me okay, yeah.
Daddy.
Explanation. Ah.
Right. I think most of you have gotten it, like a pretty good grasp on it. So okay, so the answer is actually negative 24. Does anyone have confusion on like why it's negative 24? Wait, if you're not talking, please mute yourself. Okay, yeah, Linda? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, Linda, you raised your hand. Do you have a question or something?
Please, could you repeat what you said? I couldn't hear without the racking.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions on this? I think like a lot of you were able to understand how to do it, so I'm not too worried. But someone wrote a nice explanation here. So first you would do 4 times 6, which equals 24, and then you add a minus, because negative times positive should give you negative. Is everyone good with that? Yeah? Any questions from anyone? Okay, perfect. Then let's do another problem. Oh, okay. Then I think that's it for today. I think we got through everything like really fast. So, do you guys want to like get a jump start on your homework or something? We can do some of the homework questions together. Do you guys remember how to do LCM in GCF? Yeah?
Yes.
Do you guys want to try question 24? This is like on your homework. So, you guys want to try that? Just to make sure you remember how to do it. Okay, yeah, go ahead. And then let me know what your answer is. And we can just a little refresher on how to do it before we end today's class. We close at 10. But we might close like a little early today because we finished the lesson early. So good job with that, guys. Was anyone able to solve question 24, or are you guys still doing it? What's this one? Do you guys remember how to do it? Okay, I'll go over how to kind of do it. Oh, okay, someone solved it. Very nice. Okay, let's just quickly go over how to do it. And then I think we'll be done with class for today. So let's create like a little cake thing like we talked about last class. So we have 24 and 36. So what can we take out? What's one of the numbers we can take out? Well, they're both even, so let's just take out 2. So if we take out 2, let's divide everything by 2. So we get 12, and we get 36 divided by 2 is 18. Well, they're still even, so let's take out another 2. So if we take out another 2, we get 6 and 9. What should we take out now? What is a common factor between 6 and 9?
3.
Yeah, so let's take out 3. Okay, so now we're left with 2 and 3. Well, there are no common factors between 2 and 3 anymore. So now we can calculate our LCM and GCF. So let's take a look. So GCF, if you remember, is just multiplying all the numbers on the left together. So our GCF will equal 2 times 2 times 3, which equals 12. And our LCM will be all the numbers on the left times the numbers at the bottom. So our LCM will equal 2 times 2 times 3 times 2 times 3, which gives us 12 times 6, or 72.
The answer is 16.
16? Wait, 2 times 2 times 3 times 2 times 2, times 3 is 16. So the answer for this,
72.
yeah, which is 72, yeah. So the answer for 24 should be your LCM is 72 and your GCF is 12. Does that make sense to everyone? Is it like coming back a little?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. If there's any confusion or anything with how to do this again, I have posted material on the Google Classroom. So if you have any confusion, you can definitely go ahead and look at that. And also you can let me know if you need any help or anything, and I can definitely give some guidance. So yeah, I'd say be careful with some of these problems because I know sometimes they could be a little confusing when there's like a lot of numbers. So like especially here, be sure to take into consideration the 3 squared and stuff like that. So I think that's it for today's class. Y'all did like really well today, so I will go through and I will grade those that turned in their homework last week today. But yeah, please try to do the homework and turn it in like before class starts next week, so that way I have time to like give you feedback and everything. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, Linda, do you have a question?
Please, the order of operations. Can you write the meaning of PEMDAS?
Oh yeah, I can definitely do that. Okay, let me just see it to share. Okay. So, if you guys remember PEMDAS, that's what we talked about last class. So, just like, can I do this? Okay. So PEMDAS is the order of operations we use. So P stands for parentheses. So it's like that sort of thing. Like if you look down here, yeah, these are parentheses. Okay. The E stands for exponents. So that'd be like 3 squared, 4 cubed, stuff like that. The M stands for multiplication. Please. So that's like 3 times 4 or like 4 times 8, something like that. D stands for division. So that'd be like 24 divided by 3, 16 divided by 7, something like that. The A stands for addition.
What
So,
does mean?
huh? What does M mean? M stands for multiplication, so like 3 times 4 and like 4 times 8 and stuff like that. So back to A stands for addition, so that'd be like 3 plus 3. And then lastly, S stands for subtraction. So that'd be like 7 minus 4 or something like that. So just keep in mind when using PEMDAS, you move from left to right whenever you looked at the expression. So if you're looking at the expression, let's say 7 times 4 divided by 2, you work left to right. So if there's a multiplication first, you do the multiplication, then the division. So this should equal 24. Even if in the case it's like 4 divided by 2 times 6, you always move left to right. Because division and multiplication, you can like basically swap them. Like they basically like, it's not you're supposed to do multiplication then division, it's just like whichever one comes first. But you should always do your parentheses and exponents first. And then multiplication or division before you do addition or subtraction. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Is in the order of operations. Can you, when you use some of the questions, when you use board mass, will it also work?
Yeah, board mass and PEMDAS are the same thing. It's instead of like parentheses, you use like brackets or something like that. Yeah, there's like, I guess there's like phrasing differences, but they should do the same thing. They all follow the same order. Does anyone have any more questions about what would be on the homework or like anything we discussed last class? No? Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah? What's your question? Okay. Well, if any questions come up or if you have a question, you can just like reach out to me on the Google Classroom or yeah, or on like the WhatsApp group or something like that. Okay. That's it for class today. Thank you all for joining. I will post the slides, the homework, and the recording on the Google Classroom in case anyone needs it. Yeah. So thank you all for today. Bye. Oh yeah, it's not time. We're ending a little bit early because we finished the lesson a little early. It's like 2 minutes, so unless you guys have any questions or anything you want me to answer, I'm free till 10. So yeah. Okay. Bye.
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 Bye.